What is happening on YouTube? It's your man brother more motivation. So today we have a reaction video to do. It's a TED Talk. It's talking about the mental and physical aspect and obesity. This is a very educational video. I want to react to it, pause it every now and then to give my own input and take it from there. So if you subscribe to the channel, you're gonna expect to see lots of fitness content, health, and stuff to self-improve each and every day, because it's all about getting better every day and optimizing yourself. So let's jump into this video and see what we got.
Recording in progress.
Coronary arteries. 1956, the Eisenhower administration had a big meeting in Washington, D.C. The military was noticing something funny starting to happen. It was becoming increasingly difficult to find young American men who could pass the induction physicals for the military. They wanted to figure out who to blame. What's the problem? They looked into the public schools, and some researchers had done fitness tests involving the ability of our students at the high school and junior high school level to perform what they call functional movements, just everyday things you might have to do on your job or in your lives. Like, can you bend over and you touch your toes, At 16 years of age, you should be able to put your toes in your mouth. We thought that was the dumbest idea anybody ever came up with, to test kids for physical fitness, because we thought that kids are fit just because they're young. 57.8% of our kids fail that test. We said that can't be right. If that's true, we have the most
Wow. Are you hearing that? Amazing, folks. Amazing.
fit kids in the world. And folks, that's just not possible. So they decided to take the test to kids and give it to kids in Europe. 7% fail, are still enthusiastically avoiding exercise. 50% are exercising and still in lousy shape, about 10% are keeping fit. University of Indiana measured the fitness level of 4 million kids between 6 and 17 years of age and found that in the middle of all this hoopla about exercise, 57% of our kids are still failing fitness tests, and fitness leaders say they're worse now than they were 30 years ago. We're finding 14.
Isn't that crazy? Wow. I didn't even know that. But technology increasing, fast food, so much things being convenient to us now is part of the reason why. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
90-year-old kids with 40% blockage of the coronary arteries. What used to be called adult onset diabetes is now showing up in kids between 4 and 10 years of age. They say we're raising the first generation that will have a shorter life expectancy than either their parents or grandparents. It has never before happened in our history. The state of Oregon has the highest rate of obesity of any state west of the Rockies. Our public schools are being gutted because of budget cuts, and the first thing we always cut is physical education. They formed an Oregon Health Policy Commission.
Why though? Doesn't make sense. Like, why would they get rid of one of the most important things or reduce it? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Tell us how to solve this problem. They published a 65-page report, which basically said, we don't know. But they said this: children's behaviors are substantially affected by the influential adults in their lives, parents, grandparents, and teachers. Efforts to address childhood obesity in Oregon will not be successful unless they also include interventions that influence the healthy eating and physical activity behaviors of adults as well as children. Now, they watered this message down a bit in their final draft, but the idea was out. How many of you get all the exercise you need? And if not, why not? Well, the two most common objections are, what do you think it is? Number one, I don't have time. Every time we've asked, I don't have time.
Oh,
Number two,
The biggest bullshit excuse ever. I don't have time. I don't have 45 minutes in a day. I don't have 3 hours in a week to work out. The worst excuse ever. Just say you don't want to work out. Or you just say that it's not important to you. You don't have time. Please.
And this surprised me how often they stated and how boldly they stated was, I'm too lazy to do it even when I do have time. Or the way one guy in South Carolina said it, I swear after college I.
And you know what? That's the real answer. I'm too lazy to do it. That's why I won't do it. More people should just be honest. The world would be such a better place if you just be honest. It's okay. It's okay to say you can't do it because you're lazy, not because you don't have time. That's the worst excuse in the world.
Never sweat again. Let's just call it lack of motivation. But every time we in the medical and fitness field have been bold enough to ask, why don't you do it? You've been.
And the thing about motivation is it's never going to be there when you actually need it. So part of being used to what you have to do is doing it when you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? The best things for you are usually the things that hurt you the most, figuratively. But those things help you become a better version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? That is the big thing. People rely on motivation so much they don't actually do what they have to do. They wait to feel like doing it. But feeling like doing something you have to do is rare. I mean, your responsibilities are the things you often don't want to do or feel like doing. But you have to train yourself to be able to do it despite how you feel.
Incredibly honest, and you've been incredibly consistent. You said two things over and over and over and over again. I don't have time and I don't know how to stay motivated to exercise. And you would think all medical and fitness leaders who cared would have scheduled a national convention somewhere, got into a big room and said, let's just solve these two problems. It has never happened. As fitness leaders, we are not trained to deal with I don't have time and I don't know how to stay motivated to exercise. I almost changed my major to the University of North Carolina when I heard some guy from California say, exercise to my wife is to take a bath, pull the plug, and fight the current. What they teach us to say is, you gotta make exercise fun. You ever heard that? It's all over the place. Make it fun.
What? Exercises are fun. If your exercise is fun, you're not really exercising. Know what I mean? Fun? It's fun to live extra years, though. It's fun not to have diabetes, heart attack, depression. It's fun not to walk upstairs and not be breathing so heavy. It's fun. It's fun to be able to breathe properly and stand up straight. It's fun to be able to look down and see your private. Yeah. So why do people make something so basic so hard? Responsibilities are not fun, but the results it brings is fun.
Make it, folks, over the past 39 years, I put over 10,000 Americans on exercise programs, and I'm here to tell you I've learned a lot about exercise. One of the things I've learned is, if what you're doing for exercise is fun, I guarantee you, you're not doing it right.
What did I just say? He's wise for a reason.
There are physiological requirements that must be met in order to benefit from your exercise program, whether you like it or not. The intensity, the duration, the frequency of your exercise are all more important than whether or not it's fun. You must work every muscle in the body, the cardiovascular system, flexibility, muscle balance, muscle strength, and there's no single activity or exercise that we know of that adequately works the total body. If you don't sit down and design a total body workout, it isn't going to happen. So how do you solve it?
My man, he's speaking with facts. And this is why, when it comes to fitness, I don't focus on one area. Know what I mean? You have a lot of people going towards just the bodybuilding, right? You're training the muscle hypertrophy. You may do cardio, just be lean and all that stuff. Cool. But you're forgetting about the strength aspect. You gotta do a little bit of all of it. You know what I mean? This guy speaks absolute facts. I'm loving it so far.
This problem. Well, I got to meet Dr. Mark Anschel. Dr. Mark has a new book out and promised to send me a new copy, which I haven't gotten yet. Um, but what he basically said is this fitness problem is more about our mental failures than our physical failures. It's more about your head and your attitude than it is about your body. He said, you just can't decide to exercise and have it sustain you for the rest of your life. So your brain's going to fight you. You say, I'm going to start an exercise program. Your brain says, what are you doing? Haven't we been down this road? Look at you. Look at your dog.
I was even thinking this morning when I was doing my cardio session, I hate this so much. And I have to do this again tomorrow. It's like you cannot love it. You know what I mean? People have this misconception that I just love it. What? I'm a human being. What I mean? I was just there. I get home late yesterday at 11, wake up at 5, get out and it's freezing cold, get in that vehicle, drive to the gym just to go in there to do cardio. And just threading yourself on that treadmill, counting down to when the set is over or the whole hit workout is over. But you got to do it again. You know what I mean? Like you do that workout that day, it ends, and you have to do it again. Same with the heavy lifting sessions, same with the bodybuilding sessions, body weight flexibility, whatever it is. The things that get you the most results are not the things you like doing. And that's even the easy part. You forgot about the eating, the recovery, drinking water, tracking what you do outside the gym. Those are all things that is glanced over. You know what I mean? And it's a big misconception. Every fitness person you see loves it. They don't love it. They love the results.
But he says you have to win the mental battle, and it's tough. One guy said he got in his car, decided to go to the health club. He got down to the intersection. The light turned red. He said, that's a sign. Turned around and went back home. But if you can win the mental battle for 5 consecutive years, you will never go back to your previously sedentary lifestyle. But you got to keep it up. How do you win the psychological battle associated with getting ourselves to exercise? Well,
let me tell you this too. That psychological battle is every day. It's every day, man. It depends also on your goal. Because when you get to a certain stage and your body gets adapted to what you're doing, it becomes easy and it then becomes fun. But that's the trap because you have to push your body to different heights. If you're getting comfortable and getting used to what you're doing, you need to change it. And that's a thing. And that's a battle you're always going to face. But the positive thing out of all that is the results. When you look yourself in the mirror, how you feel, despite of what you're going through with each of those workouts and how much you hate it, you actually love it because you're looking forward to what you gain from it. You know what I mean? So it's a mental battle every day.
make it just that, a lifestyle. It has to become a habit. Now, we know that rather than working out every day, 3 days a week, the way we've been taught, working out 7 days a week, or according to the American College of Sports Medicine, work out most days or every day. I said, thank you. I've been saying that for over 30 years. See, it's easier to work out every day than it is to work out 3 days a week. 3 days a week gives you too many decisions. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
That is so true, man. That is so true. I'm right now on the 7-day split, but 3 of those days are cardio, right? Before the split was 4 days, But the thing I had issues with that split is I wouldn't decide what day to do what. I'm gonna do legs this day, maybe that day. The thing he's talking about here hits home so much. I can tell he tried 3 days, 4 days, and then every day. It's actually easier to go every day than it is to go sometimes a week because when you have the paradox of choice, it's harder to make a choice. Or when you have more choices, it's harder to make a choice. That is called the paradox of choice.
Can I skip today and double up tomorrow? Folks, if you're negotiating about whether or not to work out, it's over. Do you work out first thing in the morning? You have a 300% greater chance of getting it done than at any other time of day because you have more control over your schedule first thing in the morning than any other
Ooh, man, this guy's a genius. All right.
time of day. Try to confine your workout time to 20 minutes or less. The more time you spend exercising, the less likely you are to do it, and the more likely you are to get injured, will keep you from doing it anyway. And then work against resistance. If you work against resistance, you get tired faster. Now, the most important rule in exercise physiology is called the overload principle. It says no benefit occurs in any exercise program until you get tired. The problem is, as you get more fit, what happens to the amount of work you have to do to get tired? It goes up. In the public schools, they did studies on high school boys and asked them to do as many push-ups as they could every day until they got tired. Do that every day for a year. The boys who could do 5 push-ups on the first day, after a year, were doing between 100 and 120 to get to the same level of fatigue that 5 got them on the first day. We're talking major league boredom, even if you do have time. So then we said, we'll just go on a diet. Well, folks, the quickest way I know to get an American fat is to go on a diet. Don't ever diet another day the rest of your life.
Diet, man, it's such a myth. What people should really call it is food restriction. When you put yourself under restriction, your body goes in emergency mode. You hold on to more fat, you stay fat, eat less, less efficient, have no energy. It's a miserable spot to be. It's a miserable spot. I get exactly what it means when it says that.
Eat for nutrition, never eat for weight loss, and never make any change in the way you eat that you're not willing to make permanent. Now, there's a lot more I want to talk about with nutrition, but for lack of time, let's just concentrate on
This is
physical
a
fitness
big
today.
one. This is a big one. If you're not gonna eat the way you're gonna eat forever, it's better not to do it. So this comes down to people trying to do keto, ah, plant-based, carnivore, watermelon diet, eat once a day. Like whatever you're doing, if it's not something you're gonna make into a lifestyle, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. That's why I'm not a fan of the word diet. All right. I can tell he's not as well. Eat in order to hit nutritional goals. That's it. Not for weight loss, not for fat loss. If you go train every day, all right, 4 of those days can be weights, 3 could be cardio, or however you want to make it. Plus, you eat home cooked meals, focus on hitting nutritional goals, you automatically lose body fat anyway and build muscle at the same time, depending on how long you've been training as a whole. That's the formula right there. It's nothing complicated.
So 7 days a week, first thing in the morning, plan to spend about 20 minutes or less, and then work against resistance so that as you become more fit, you don't spend more time, you work against more resistance. So how do you do that? Well, I was speaking to the University Rotary Club in Seattle, and one of the members came up when I was done and said, I'm one of the editors for Prentice Hall Publishing. We're the largest publishing company in America. We have a waiting list of people that want to write books on exercise. Nobody is telling us how to stay motivated. And what you told us here today makes more sense than anything I've heard anywhere in the country. We do a book for my company on fitness motivation. Abdominal muscles and stretch your lower back, and 85% of an $80 to $100 billion problem will either lessen or go away completely. But none of you can strengthen your abdominal muscles by taking Doan's pills. You have to exercise. I want you to have enough cardiovascular endurance to
Hey man, he's saying all the facts right now. I hope people are listening and not just gonna go back to the old ways after being hyped up by the video.
to step up and down on a 16.25-inch box, chair, or stool, or an 8-inch stair for 3 consecutive minutes. Take the pulse for 15 seconds and multiply the beats by 4. If your pulse is higher than 144 beats a minute for men, or 156 beats a minute, 156 beats a minute for women on a 16.25-inch step, you just failed the test. And 75% of the people in this room, if you're typical, will fail that test. A lot of you runners don't have good cardiovascular fitness, but nobody's been able to explain that to you. That test will, and it's not my test. I didn't make it up. It's out there being used by the research community. And then in Dubai.
Facts, man. Nothing over 15% for men and nothing over 20% for women. That's accurate. That's accurate. And between 10 and 15% is a healthy range for a man. Definitely. Definitely. This guy knows what he's talking about. I'm gonna have to read more of his stuff and do more research on my own.
Fat percentage
About this
for
guy.
anybody who wants to have that done. It's the quickest way I know to clear the room. And if you don't have a skin fold caliber, keep track of your body shape. If you're losing inches, but you're not losing pounds, what are you losing?
Fat.
And that's a good thing. So keep track of your shape. For men, you should at least keep track of your waistline. If you're dropping body fat, you almost always are dropping the waistline measurement. For men, for women, it's the hip measurement. Keep track of your hip measurement. I found if you're dropping body fat, you almost always are dropping the hip measurement. So your body's giving you the information you need to motivate you, but you have to know how to read your body. This is stuff we should have taught you back in grade school, and we didn't.
And you know what? Absolutely beautiful. Let's get out of here. Stop share. Thanks, folks. All right, folks, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for dropping into my YouTube channel and checking this out. I'll have more videos like this, but that was definitely a very informative video. A lot of things in there I didn't know about. Of course, I knew a little bit, but not all of it, you know, as far as the psychological aspect of it, you know. The first thing that I learned is, well, I've been doing it by accident, but I didn't think about it in the way he explained it, is how working out 7 days a week gives you less of the option to do it. So it's actually better to do it, even if it's just for 20 minutes a day. Another thing that he mentioned in the video that really hit home for me is diet. How it's the thing that makes people actually gain more weight, because it really just means food restriction for a lot of people, which sends people down a path of losing weight quickly and then right back to the old habits they had before going on that quote-unquote diet, instead of focusing on making progress and eating to hit nutritional goals for the day. And the final one is obviously the body fat percentages that are healthy between men and women. I already knew that, but it was another thing just good to see and to remind it about. But that's it. That's it. So thank you so much for coming to the channel. Like always, get better every day, optimize yourself. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll see all of you later. God bless you.